Hey everybody, you're watching We the Fandom, where we discuss comic books, pop culture, and the fandom experience. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more content. How's it going everybody? Jacob here at We the Fandom. Today I'm reviewing episode 3 of Hawkeye, and because I was out of town all of last week, I didn't post a review of episodes 1 and 2, so I'm going to give as brief a recap of those two episodes as I can. So it seems to be that the story concerns Kate Bishop working to take over the mantle of Hawkeye from Clint Barton. Kate Bishop, who has emulated Hawkeye since she was a child and trained herself to be like him, spent the first two episodes trying to figure out whether her mom is involved in some shady criminal underworld type stuff, while also trying to find out if her mom's fiance, Jack Duquesne, who in the comics is the swordsman, killed his uncle Armand in order to get his inheritance. How she ties into Clint Barton's story is by acquiring the Ronin costume during the disruption of a black market auction, and Clint, who is trying to get home to his family for Christmas, is trying to get the Ronin costume back in order to close that chapter of his life. And for those of you who don't remember, Clint Barton was Ronin during the 5-year time gap after Thanos wiped out half of all life in the universe. While acting as the Ronin, he wiped out large portions of the criminal underworld, to include the Tracksuit Mafia, who at the end of episode 2 captured both Kate Bishop and Clint Barton. Now, there's lots of details and stuff that I left out, but I will do my best to tie it into my reviews for the future episodes. So episode 3 is titled Echoes, because we get a quick origin story for the character of Echo, aka Maya Lopez. Now, Maya Lopez was born deaf, making it necessary for her to learn sign language, and because her father couldn't afford for her to go to a deaf school, she went to a regular school where she seemingly excelled despite her disability. She also attended karate classes, and it was shown that she was missing her right leg and had a prosthetic one. Not really sure why they added that to her character. In the comics, she was only deaf, and that seems like it would have been enough to contend with. My guess is that they did that so they could say she's even more amazing since she's a capable fighter with 2 disabilities. Side note for a second, something I appreciate about this series is that while the 2 main female characters do seem a bit too good at fighting, just right off the bat, at least it's shown that they have backgrounds in training. They give us the lead up. One of the major complaints about the character Rey from Disney Star Wars trilogy was that she seemed to be just too good at everything despite not having any training until The Last Jedi. In Hawkeye, we get to see in the opening credits of the first episode that show us Kate Bishop's training all throughout her childhood and teenage years. And with this episode, we see Maya Lopez having trained as a child. So Maya Lopez, born deaf, learns to fight and fit in with the rest of the world despite her disabilities. When she's an adult, she witnesses Ronin killing her father, as well as members of the quote-unquote crew, leading to her want to take down Ronin. Now in the comics, she is tricked into believing that Daredevil killed her father, and so she becomes not so much a villain, but someone seeking revenge on Daredevil. But for this series, it seems like they're switching Daredevil with Hawkeye, but with Echo having the same motives. Which is why the Tracksuit Mafia captured Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. Echo seems to be in charge of them and knows that they have a connection to Ronin, but she doesn't know what it is yet. And she won't find out in this episode, because Hawkeye and Kate Bishop escape in a cool car chase scene involving more trick arrows than I think we've seen in all the Avengers films. Another thing I appreciated about this episode is how much this episode reminded me of the Marvel Netflix series. Maybe just because it's more grounded than everything else we've seen on Disney+, but it felt more like an episode of Daredevil or Punisher, which is great because except for Iron Fist and seasons 2 through 3 of Jessica Jones, I really enjoy those Netflix series, and I hope some of them make a return. But the 2 do escape, and while Clint needs his hearing aid fixed, they are also trying to figure out how to get one up on the tracksuits. They end up going to the penthouse belonging to Kate Bishop's mother in order to use her security database to find information on the tracksuits. Now I'm not sure if this is an Easter egg or not because the name is different, but on this list of names here, you can see Victoria Kafka. Ashley Kafka, though the name is different, was a woman in Marvel Comics who at one time was in charge of the Ravencroft Institute, which is something we just saw featured in Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage. Not sure that there's a connection there. It could just as easily be the name of a producer or something. But while Kate is searching through the database, she does find a connection between the character Kazi, who seems to be the second in command of the tracksuits, and an organization known as Sloan Limited. Now, Sloan Limited sounds incredibly familiar to me, but I can't quite put my finger on it. So if you guys know the Easter egg connection there, please post it in the comment section below. But the episode ends with Hawkeye searching through the penthouse and being confronted by Jack Duquesne, the swordsman, but we have to wait until next week's episode to find out if these 2 characters have the same connection as they do in the comics. Now, if you're wondering if I just completely ignored the big Easter egg at the beginning of the episode, I did not. I was just waiting until now to cover it. So, multiple times throughout the episode, a character simply referred to as Uncle is mentioned, sometimes implied to be the guardian of a young Maya Lopez, sometimes implied to be the real boss or benefactor behind the Tracksuit Mafia. A person that Hawkeye mentions to Kate Bishop is someone that she shouldn't mess with, a high-up member of the criminal underworld who Hawkeye had tried to take down during the 5-year time skip, given the fact that he killed Maya's father and the other members of that crew. Somebody that we saw only a part of at the beginning of the episode with young Maya Lopez. This is in fact, well, maybe I shouldn't say fact, but this is 99.9% likely the Kingpin from Daredevil. The imposing figure, the nice suit, you can hear the laugh of Vincent D'Onofrio, but most importantly, right at the edge of the screen here, you can see the cufflinks, which were not just a signature part of his outfit, but an integral part of his everyday routine as well as his past. So yeah, it looks like we have the Kingpin officially in the MCU now. Here's to hoping that Daredevil is soon to follow. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comment section below. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy my content, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss out on a new video. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.